Hi, everyone, and welcome to another Roofing Contractor Q&A. I'm RC editor Art Eisner, and I'm really excited to catch up today with the great contractor and a familiar face to our viewership, Sam Stilley, CEO of Amstill Roofing in Houston. Hi, Sam, and welcome back to the RC studio.
Hey, Art, thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be here, and it's a privilege to be a part of another contribution.
You bet. Well, let's kick off. Tell us about the state of roofing in the greater Houston area. How are things going?
Sure. I would say that it's been a pretty consistent year of growth for really everyone in the community. Despite the material shortages, purchasing seems to be at an all-time high, which is quite stressful, I'm sure, for our distribution friends. But everyone seems to be steady on purchasing. The homing market's still strong in the Houston area, or real estate market, I should say. And with that, it seems like there's more roofing companies popping up than ever because I think people are trying to get into recession-proof industry, and roofing is quite that, in my opinion.
I was curious, you touched on the supply chain issues and really the crisis affecting the industry. What have you learned about the supply chain, process in this current environment? And were there any, particular tech tools or solutions that you found helpful?
Sure. I think the running joke has been, do you want gray, black, or brown? And that was really evident in the first half of the year, color-wise. And if anyone wanted a color other than that, we told them it was going to be 8 to 10 weeks. And I think for most people, unless they really desired a red or green or whatever outlandish color they wanted that wasn't ordinary, if they didn't really want that color, they would switch to a common color. And I think with the storms occurring and now the hurricane and with the shortages of colors and a lot of the plants stopping producing designer and luxury and just trying to do their standard like black or gray or weatherwood, it's been an interesting experience. And in my lifetime in the roofing industry, I haven't experienced this, but I know my dad has many years ago from very large hurricanes that have come through where people were just choosing a color and not necessarily having a brand option, but it was whatever color was available. And luckily we've had great partnerships with Owens Corning, and we've been very blessed with our relationship with Beacon here in Houston that supply and shortages haven't affected us tremendously unless it's a specialty color or a specialty product. And now in this case, we're not even offering specialty products. From a systems of purchasing, we really leveraged it by our CRM allowing us to have a backlog of jobs that were sold, of colors that were selected, as well as with our hover data that we have. And hover is one of the big pieces of our technology side of the company now, especially after this year. And essentially when a job was sold through it, it allowed us to have predetermined colors as well as the quantities. And when we sold a job, we weren't building it tomorrow. We consistently have a 2-week backlog. So we'd immediately take those batches of orders or sales of that day or of those running 3 or 4 days, and we would actually send it to our distributor ahead of time and let them know, hey, in 4 weeks, we're going to be having 30 jobs of these colors, and that would allow them plenty of prep time to have those products brought into them so that we were technically not placing the order 4 weeks in advance, but we would give them a notice, and then we would place the order with them about 2 weeks prior. So they were allowed to do their back end and logistics to make sure those products were available for us based off us giving them a heads up. And we leverage that data with Hover and AccuLinks, just really the data we get when a job gets submitted for approval. And for us, when a job is submitted for approval, that means it's sold and it's ready to be built.
Wow. So it sounds like that capability made it easier or better for you to plan and obviously get the materials you needed. Did it also help as a digital sales tool? And how did that component work?
Absolutely. So we made the decision as a company, I want to say the end of last year to, for lack of better terms, get into bed with Hover and really just dive into adopting this full technologically advanced sales system so that we could have ease of selling in the home as well as readily available measurements almost for every property that there is. And in January and February, we really went into full swing. We've been working with their design team as well as some of their back-end software programmers to really build out Hover and give them ideas the way we felt it could be best utilized in the home. And there's really nothing like Hover. If you look at the space of measurement softwares that are available, there's nothing that allows you right then, right there. I can take photos from my smartphone or my tablet my homeowner can take photos with their phone or their tablet. It can be uploaded, and I can have a 3D model ready within 45 minutes of me knocking on their door, or within 45 minutes of me arriving to their home based off our appointment time. And having that type of ability to present that type of value allows a high quality sales representative to close at a higher rate and not have to worry about follow-up because of this presentation they're able to provide that's incredibly transparent with the estimation tool, because we can plug in exactly what's on their roof. The homeowner can see the quantities. There's no, I need to go sit in my truck and write up an estimate, or I need to go back to my office and write up an estimate. And now that homeowner thinks they're being charged based off the zip code they live in. Instead, it's, hey, this is what the computer says. My tablet says in front of me, you have 10 pipe jacks, 2 chimneys, I'm plugging that in front of you. And using technology like that really allowed us to change the way we sell and improve our one-stop closes compared to previously. We'd order measurements in advance and we'd come out to the property with a pre-built estimate, but the quantities would always be blank because we didn't know how many pipe jacks there would be. So we'd have to guesstimate before we came to the property, because we're big on one-stop closes, and our business model has a heavy influx of inbound calls. So we try to be best prepared for those appointments to minimize the being forced to come back for a second time just to deliver price. So being able to deliver price up front, as well as having the ability to know what colors are available and the back end flexibility to hide certain colors from reps, really allowed us to stay on top of that supply chain issue as well.
Wow. So it sounds like you really found a digital sales solution that's going to stick around.
Yes.
I'm curious to ask though, especially, given your company's history and your dad's roots in the business, do you feel like roofing will always be a kitchen table sales process, or, have we ventured into this new era now?
I think that that's on everyone's mind right now. And I think that those that are really concerned about that are readily the ones that haven't adopted to any type of technological change to their company. And realistically, my opinion is my opinion. I don't think door knocking will ever truly leave our space. I do feel, however, though, and I say that because of storms, natural disaster. I mean, people's phones aren't going to work after a hurricane. Someone knocks on the door and says, hey, I have a solution for you, and they've had a horrible event. Chances are they're going to sign with someone. I think a kitchen table experience, we will slowly see a shift to more digital transactions. Am I a fan of digital transactions? Not necessarily, but guess who is? My clients. And I have to change my business model to fit my clients' needs. Otherwise, my clients' needs will be found or fulfilled by another company. And I'm not going to have opportunity lost because I'm not willing to change the business to make it more appealing to consumers. I think that mindset is what allows other companies to flourish and others to essentially ultimately go out of business. We just lost power. Oh, never mind. Just my light went off. Hold on, let me get my, it's a motion sensor light.
There we go.
Yeah, perks of great technology. So to answer your question a little bit better, I think there will always be a place at the kitchen table for the consumer that desires that. That will never go away. It's not an age group thing, of older people wanting in-home. It's showing now that younger people do want in-home as well. But I think realistically, it's going to come to preference. And after coronavirus really happened, people got used to, hey, just email me or send me this presentation, to my phone or whatever it may be. So to tailor to that, we partnered up knowing that how do we provide enough value if I can't sit down with you? And the answer is it's almost impossible without having a great estimation software, or in this case with Hover, a 3D comprehensive model that allows a homeowner to submerge themselves in the actual virtual reality of their own personal home. And I think that makes a unique enough factor with the measurement tools combined to it to give to a homeowner and say, hey, I know that we weren't able to meet with you, but we spent this time to build this for you. And those small little eye cares make all the difference when someone is deciding to spend $1,000 or several $1,000s more with you compared to a competitor that didn't really provide them any type of value other than just an estimate email to them.
I wanted to know how sophisticated your clients really have to be to kind of embrace this presentation you're giving to them now, or does it really work with everyone across the board?
It's easy. And we have people that are in their 80s and 90s that love it. And we have people that are, in their early 20s that are first-time home buyers that love it. There isn't a age barrier to the product that we are using. It's simplified in the sense of everyone knows how to use a smartphone. I mean, there's maybe 1% of the population, other than children that are too young to use one, don't know how to use it. So are you catering to your 1% or your 99%? And any smart business owner is going to cater to the 99%. It's easy. I mean, truly, it's as simple as downloading an app, uploading photos, and Hover does all the back end for you. And then a model or an estimate software or the measurements are readily available for you within 20 to 45 minutes. And I think that it's a revolutionary software that not enough people are taking advantage of.
All right, so I guess let's talk about that. Tell us what's ahead for Amstill Roofing. What are you looking forward to as you close 2021 and head into 22?
I'm really excited to see the year-over-year change of data from closing percentages and average order tickets, and really seeing the return on investment that can be had, because we're seeing tremendous success with green people in our industry that know nothing about roofing, and we're just training them through that system and being able to see them turn in one-stop closes using Hover, which has really made that possible for new people in the industry without having to teach them how to measure roofs and whatnot. And the third thing I'm most excited about is having a super refined in-home sales system. And that's made possible through using Hover on our tablet. Each rep is issued a tablet they get to use in the field. And on that tablet, they have the Hover software. We teach them how to create that measurement. We have a proprietary installation video that we show all of our homeowners, as well as an interactive demonstration with them all through the iPad, to really allow them to have this unique selling, or in their case, purchasing experience regarded to something that most find boring, which is roofing. And when you combine that with the Rodney Webb sales process and taking them down as called the walk of life, it's a recipe for success. And we're really excited to have tremendous growth next year, not based off of spending more money to have more leads, but simply closing at a higher rate with a higher ticket price per job.
I was curious what you're interested or optimistic about for the industry as a whole, and what would you like to see at trade shows of the future? What are some of the products that you're looking forward to, help take your business to that next level?
I would say what I'm optimistic about for the industry is we're seeing a huge change the past 5 years, I would say, of people being forced to either get in the tech space for roofing or potentially face having their doors closed or business slowly declining inevitably. And why I say that's interesting is not for people to go to business. That's not a good thing. But simply when we get into a space that's now tech is surrounding us, I think in the next 5 years, we're going to see an enormous amount of change of other tech companies competing in this space. And ultimately what they're going to be competing for is who can have the best product or the best service with that product. And I think that type of competition in our space is going to allow only for us as the end user to have an even better system or things in front of us that can help us at the kitchen table or with safety or whatever it may be, because now the roofing space has always lagged behind when it comes to adoption. And I feel like now it's kind of finally getting the attention it deserves, but we're in the early stages. And I think that's most proven by a company like Hover with their forward thinking and allowing them to say, you know what, we have a solution that's going to make estimation easy for an experienced person, a non-experienced person, a homeowner, or just someone who's interested in having a 3D design, which, architects even could have that, or designers, I should say, not architects. And I think that them coming in and putting as much money and investment into our community is really going to allow the entire community to flourish as a whole, because other tech will see that and want to be involved in our space, whether it doesn't have to be necessarily measurement side of things, but I think that is something to be optimistic about for the next 5 years. I'm super positive about the industry. I'm excited about where things are going with the change of the in-home presentations or the digital presentations.
To your point, having more innovation in the roofing space is only going to be good for the industry. I did want to touch on something you mentioned earlier, though. When is too much implementation? When have you reached that point, or when do you reach that point? Especially someone at your age.
I think we reached that Q3 of this year. And I remember sitting in my office and I was thinking about all the stuff we've started doing and it's stacking on year after year. And I was like, man, this is going to start to get a little hairy. And we made some decisions and stuck with the things that really benefit us the most. And we realized that if we could find a platform that would listen to our feedback and allow us to give advice and implement it the way we thought it could be best fit, why not we put as much as we can into that platform? And truly that connection came with Hover. And it was very apparent when their vice president of, I think, technology and development, we started doing a lot of Zoom calls, a lot of Skype calls with them. And they were just asking us, hey, y'all are alphaing a lot of stuff for us. We want your feedback. And we gave them as much feedback as we can, as often as they let us. And they started changing the estimation side of things to really benefit the roofing contractor, because you had roofing contractors like us, I'm sure there was others involved, giving them real time, real feedback. This is good, this is bad, this is ugly, this is great, and them listening. And instead of us having to go out and spend millions of dollars to create the software, we can just spend hours of our time on these phone calls and with real data from with our sales reps to say, hey, this is working, or this is what we need from the software, and them actually listening, implementing, and making those changes. And I can't tell you how many things that we shared in our meetings with them that they actually made official to where it's used across their entire platform, to where other contractors benefit from it. Because whatever changes we suggest, it's not like it's a one-off for Amstill, it's for everyone on the entire platform. And I think that when we realized that Hover would be that partner for us, we were able to kind of shut off some of the smaller companies and say, let's just make our focus in one system, one sales system, not multiple sales system, one presentation piece, and let's streamline this now. And then we can work on any inefficiencies on a per segment piece of that presentation, instead of having 5 different moving parts from 5 different companies and it being really just a cluster, kind of clunky, and it becoming an issue, especially for a new salesperson trying to adapt to all these things.
Got it. Well, Sam, tell us where people can find out more about Amstill and how to find you directly.
Absolutely. So you can go to our website, amstillroofing.com, or you can Google Amstill Roofing. I think there's only one of us in America, last time I checked. And if you'd like to connect with me, you can send me a message on Facebook. It's just Sam Stilley. I don't use LinkedIn as often, and it's just easy to have everything at one place. So you can message me on there, and happy to connect with you and give you advice if you'd like, or kick around some thoughts and give you some encouraging ideas to help you in your business.
All right. Well, Sam, thanks again for the great information and conversation. Really best of luck with everything you have going on down there in Houston. And I also want to thank all of you out there for joining us today. For more content like this, please sign up for our free e-newsletter and make sure you register for our new RCE magazine that delivers content in a whole new and exciting way. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.